right, Hebrews, the 5th chapter, very familiar passage. And I guess where this came from, I've been kind of sitting on it, but then again, you know how you I guess, it's not a guess, the word, the Most High never goes in style or out of style. It's always relevant, and this is kind of where it's coming from, when you all, I guess when Miss Barbara and Denise came and I guess gave the testimony to what happened, I guess, at your workplace, and it kind of stemmed from that. And if y'all that don't know me, if I'm for you, I'm for you. I'm gonna ride. All you got to say is let go. I ain't even gonna say where we're going. I figure that out on the way. But when they, people started saying about the Colts and, this and that, that kind of bothered me because I didn't say anything, but I was hearing that even at my workplace. Even my homeboy, he was like, yeah, man, my sister know you, and she said she seen you at this place, but now she said you go to this place. That place is a cult. And I said, man, tell your sister no disrespect. She crazy. And we laugh because we play like that or whatever. But this is real, and I was asking the Father, what can I say? Because there's so much to say, and then if you got to preach or teach or say a few words, it's so much to say, but then you be like, what am I supposed to talk about? The Father be like, just pick something. It's gonna all flow in at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get my Bible to work on here. Okay, maybe this will work. All right. Here we go right here. All right. So, yeah, and I know y'all probably want to hear about some more Marine Kingdom stuff, which I've been digging. But we ain't going to do that today. We ain't going to do that today. Not today. We got some other stuff that we need to sort out, which I feel like a lot of us know, but this would be for those that claim that cult is only short for cultivation. And cultivate just means to plow or break up land, to break land. If you're going to have a garden or something, you need to cultivate the land. So you got to break it up, till it up, so you can get the seed in there and it'll do what it needs to do. That's all. The cult is short of cultivate. All right, occult, O-C-C-U-L-T, it just means hidden information, hidden knowledge. But what makes those words bad is the spirit that's behind those words. Satanic cult. That's what makes the word occult bad, because you got Satan in front of it. So that's not a bad word. Cult is not a bad word. So these people that say they know everything, I'm learning that they really know nothing. Because one that really knows doesn't parade saying that he knows. That's just like a rich, wealthy man. Most of the time, you'll never know he has money because he will not let you know that he has money. So that's a part of Yasharel too. We always want to be the head Negro in charge. We got to let the other one know that I know. Therefore, you know nothing. So, and I've already started preaching. But let's go to Hebrews, the 5th chapter. Is it all right if I sit down? Oh, okay. Hebrews, the 5th chapter. Download. Okay, this ain't acting right. Let me see from my phone. Like I said, this is very familiar. And pastors already preached. Donald's already preached. And his words everywhere. We just have to learn how to pick them up. So, Hebrews 5 and 11. Madison, smile. That's a little inside joke. All right, let's read. Hebrews, the 5th chapter, starting with the 11th verse. I'm reading out of the NLT. There is much more we would like to say about this, but it is difficult to explain, especially since you are spiritually dull and don't seem to listen. You have been believers so long now that you ought to be teaching others. Instead, you need someone to teach you again the basic things about Yahuwah's word. You are like babies who need milk and cannot eat solid food. For someone who lives on milk is still an infant and doesn't know how to do what is right. Solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skill to recognize the difference between right and wrong. And I got some more in chapter 6, but we're gonna go back up. Now, verse 11 says, there's much more we like to say, but this is difficult to explain, especially since you are spiritually dull. So I looked up what dull means. Foolish, reckless, you slow, not sharp. But then that word dull breaks down to another word called turbid, Turbid, means muddy, not clear, to confuse or cause turmoil. And you don't seem to listen on top of all of that. Not my words. This is what the Yah said. Paul is talking. He said, look, man, isn't that in like Christianity? Think about it. Think about it. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. I went back and read over my notes, and the Ruach was just giving me so much stuff, I just had to write a lot of it down, so I may be all over the place. But why is it that why do we think we got a patent on the Father's mind? Why do you think you know everything there is to know about the Father? When he already said my ways and my thoughts, our stuff is different. So why is it that just because you understand one little speck of the Father, you think you got the whole thing and you cannot be corrected or taught? This is how a lot of us are or were, not us, but a lot of others were in Christianity. Can't tell us nothing. He rose on the third day morning. Believe it or not, so many people are still stuck at the quote-unquote cross. When the word in John, he says that he is the way, the truth, and the life. This is a whole process. So the title of this, what we're talking about, is levels to this. And then, but before that, because, the Father gave me some more stuff, my original topic was, if possible, teach me again. So we'll get into that too. So, and let's read verse 12. You have been believers so long now that you ought to be teaching others. Instead, you need someone to teach you again the basic things about Yahuwah's word. These scriptures are really self-explanatory. This is how somebody can say where you're in a cult. Somebody can say you done got off. No, you want milk. And I happen to stumble on some meat. And then, say you ain't on milk. You done got a hold of a piece of a bologna, but you saying it's a steak. That ain't the same thing. It's not the same thing. But Paul is saying, man, there's other stuff we need to talk about. Besides him being crucified and him, come on, man, that's easy. The little babies can get that. But there's some other stuff we need to go on into. So now we're talking about Yah coming into the truth, coming into the way. This stuff is happening in Christianity. But you got somebody that's off, it's two left shoes trying to tell you what's right. They lost as a goose in the snowstorm, and you know the way, but we going to fight about who's right instead of you considering what I'm saying. Just consider, I didn't say that I was right. Just consider what I'm saying. And then Paul told Timothy, go pray. Ask the Father, and he'll tell you. Just consider what I'm saying. But you have leaders, people that have been put in positions They won't consider. Come on, man. If the Father tells us to come, man, come let us talk. He considering what you're saying. That don't mean he gonna do what you say, but he considering what you're saying. So if he gonna do that, why we can't do that? This is where we are, at least some of us, some of our pastors, deacons, choir members, worship leaders, ushers, announcement clerks, parking lot directors, family, friends. They're in an apostate predicament and don't know it. I'm talking about you really in the thick of it now because the true truth has been presented, but you in an apostate situation even in your Christianity. You under a double barrel shotgun. Think about it. You ain't doing right in Christianity. You won't even consider what nobody teaching you over there. But you going to want to know about this? Because even though, I might have to stand up, even though we were into Christianity, right? That's levels in that. So even though we were in Christianity, and we still calling on G-O-D, J-C, but there was still a certain level of truth that we had received. So when we switched, we just switched names. That was it. The foundation is right because the word said you have to be careful how you build on that thing, right? Yeah. See, this is what I don't like. When you try to present this stuff, because you're excited, you're on fire, and you know what you done found, people to try to act like you're taking away their experience. Nobody said you didn't have an encounter with the Father. Nobody didn't say that you didn't have the Ruach. Nobody said that. But look, it's not G-O-D, it's Yahuwah. It's not J-C, it's Yahusha. Nobody said you was wrong. Nobody said you didn't believe. Nobody said that you didn't have this experience. It's levels. So if realizing that there's levels to this, you offended, a stronghold pops up and make you turn the other way. But see, we can't even get that far because Big Mama said it. My wife can attest to this. I was talking to someone, they said, yeah, all what you're saying is fine, but I'm going to stick to what I encountered. Okay. I ain't taking that from you. So what that person was really telling me, you can say what you want. I ain't changing. So what I learned in that moment was it don't matter who it is. You have to be willing. It's going to be mean. You got to be willing to walk off from whoever. I don't care if it's Big Mama, Big Daddy, Little Mama. I don't care who it is. You got to be willing to walk off. Grown, verse 12. Grown body, child, mind, and spirit. Nobody can't tell you nothing. That's how children act. You got a grown body, but you a baby on the inside. But you boasting as if you got it. Nah, you still on milk, bro. I can see the Similac leaking right there. Let me dap you up right there, bro. You're leaking right there. That Similac, you know. Okay, let's read verse 14. I'm not going to be up here long, Pastor, so you. All right, verse 14. Solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skill to recognize the difference between right and wrong. Out of that, what is the main word in that? Solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skill to recognize the difference between right and wrong. Can anybody tell me what the main word in that is? Solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skill to recognize the difference between right and wrong. What I heard one person say, mature. The main word is training. Because without training, you can't be mature. So you got to read it backwards. No one can come mature on their own. You got to be governed. You got to be steered. When something happens, it has to be explained to you. Of course, life will teach you, but training. If you're going to understand this, see that. Never mind, I ain't even going to say that. Going to get me in big trouble. Stop, don't do that. But the main word is training. So we have to be trained to become mature. And I'm learning, even in my own life, it's certain training that I've had to go through, I'm still going through in order to handle the people, places, or things that the Father wants to give me. Most of us aren't mature enough in the word to receive the physical thing that we're asking. God, hallelujah. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I can't remember. That it wasn't me. But a lot of times we can't receive. I don't even know if I'm close to what I just said. But does anybody know what I just said? We're not mature enough in his word to receive what we're asking for physically. It was something to that extent. Training is what makes one mature so that you can handle solid food. And most of the people that are trying to tell us that we're off, that we're a cult, that you don't know what you're talking about, you're off and all that, we have to understand that they're babies. And what I've had to understand is I can't get frustrated with a kid. Notice I ain't say a child. I didn't get frustrated with it. You can't get frustrated with a kid because I expect a kid to act how a kid's supposed to act. So that helps me. You know what I'm saying? Because in this going forward, you want to share the stuff that you're picking up, that the Father's revealing. Man, when somebody don't want it, N-word, you make me but you can't be like that. A kid gonna act how a kid act. An ignorant person or a person that does not know or understand or don't want to understand or know is gonna act a certain way. So you have to be able to accept it and move it forward. All right? Let's go over to chapter 6. Chapter 6. So let us stop going over the basic teachings about Yahusha again and again. Let us go on instead and become mature in our understanding. Surely we don't need to start again with the fundamental importance of repenting from evil deeds and placing our faith in Yahuwah. You don't need further instruction about baptism, laying on the hands, the resurrection of the dead, and eternal judgment, and so on. Yahuwah willing, we will move forward to further understanding. Now, out of all those three verses, understanding. We are even in Christianity, there's a lot of understanding. But even in that playing field or that ballpark, there was no understanding. Applying research with firsthand experience. Now, I deal with a lot of people who are in positions of leadership. They don't, I'm not, please hear me, I'm not trying to sound boastful, but they don't have the understanding, they don't have understanding with the understanding even on basic things in Christianity. Because they don't have no experience to go along with what they think they know. Well, I know if you call on the name of JC, it'll make demons flee. How you know? Because you read it? Of course, you have to believe what you read, but have you went into experience with that? No, you haven't, because when I seen a demon rise up in somebody, you went the other way. You saying it don't take all of that. But you saying you believe what the word says, that demons flee. How do you know? You don't. You know by reading. You have no understanding. That's why it's so hard for us and everyone else to make this transition, because we don't have understanding on the first level. We're perceiving ourselves to be college in the faith when you're really in pre-K. Somebody got to tell you spiritually when to eat, how to brush your teeth, how to tie your shoes, how not to use the restroom on you. I'm talking about, come on, think about it. Think about it. So a lot of times and we have people here that can correct me. A lot of times we're jumping into the way, the truth, this information, when these people don't even have a clear understanding of what they say they believe. So how can I give you some extra when you ain't even holding what you claim? You ain't even holding that right. You feel me? So let me keep reading. Stop at verse 3. Verse 3 says, and so, Yahuwah willing, we will move forward to further understanding, for it is impossible to bring back to repentance those who were once enlightened, those who have experienced the good things of heaven and shared in the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, who have tasted the goodness of the word of Yahuwah and the power of the age to come, and who then turn away from Yahuwah. It is impossible to bring such people back to repentance by rejecting the Son of Yahuwah. They themselves are nailing him to the cross again and holding him up to public shame. Now think about all of that I just said. You don't understand what you think you understand. Now it's time to enter in, because he's the way, the truth, and the life. So you're supposed to have this. You're supposed to have a foundation that's so sturdy and concrete that somebody else that has went on can give you something and you can build off of that. So that is how it was kind of, I ain't gonna say it was a smooth transition for us, but if you would just simply consider what was being said, Yah would show you something because of the foundation that was already put down. A lot of people can't step up because that first step was already raggedy. Even in Christianity, it was already raggedy. So because of the information that we are privileged to receive in this place, we had a foundation to where we could already step up. Those that accepted it. But one thing I'm learning about what I just said, stepping up, right? It takes a lot to step up. It takes balance. You got to be for sure them old knees work. But then if you notice, some staircases got something for you to hold on to. In this step, most people have nothing to hold on to. They ain't got no Holy Spirit to hold on to. So that's why you couldn't step up to the next level. You ain't really got what you think you had. You have no Ruach HaKodesh to hold you up. There's a mental stronghold that jumps up, pops up when you hear or start hearing about the true, real, alive name of the Most High Yahuwah. This is where most people here turn back to colonization, systematic programming. And is now, what is it? Colonization. I'm talking about, my daughter was laughing at me. Because I was saying Gentile. Now I got her saying Gentile. But I said, nah, I call them colonizers. So we done moved on. We just said colonizers and strangers, you know. So and I was faced off with the truth. These are these little strongholds that pop up. Truth versus what I thought was true. What Big Mama said versus the new information. What seminary taught me versus what the Ruach is revealing. Those are like some of the basic things that pop up when you run into this new information. Strongholds, you know? All right. Let me keep reading. Let me read these notes. We know Yahuwah is the truth, and knowing him, learning him, experiencing him is life. The way, he is the direction, at the same time being the director. Along the way, we experience different things along the way. That goes back to what I was saying. He's the way, the truth, and the life. There's levels to this. And all of us are not on the same level. We ain't gonna never be on the same level. But there is a starting place. And until we go back to what he was saying in chapter 5, we got to become solid in what we thought we knew. It's time to move on from this he rose. That's why your church ain't growing. You at the same place you was 100 years ago. It's people out here in these streets, out here that's hurting, they need help, they looking for something. They know. Believe it or not, they know. Some say a higher power, some say this, some say that, but they know somebody came, he hung, bled, and died, and he rose. These people got real issues. But we cannot service the people because we're still on this ground level, on this milk, because milk brings in money. When you challenge people to eat more food, that means money got to go out because your taste changed. That means we got to get some different groceries in here. That means it's going to cause you to push out. You got to go in your secret place and study and ask the Father to reveal. So most of these leaders don't want to do that. They can come in and read a room and know what these folks want. People got itching ears. They want to be made to feel good. So when you start saying, no, his name is not G-O-D. No, his name is not JC. No, you gotta do this. You got to do that. You have to be this. You have to come. When you start telling people that they actually got to put some work in, they back up. So these pastors stay on this milk to keep them coming. So when it's time, when the Father say that this is appointed time for you to encounter this new information, you will run off and say that it ain't so, and you'll deny that you even had an encounter with the Father. Now you are become an apostate. You're destined for apostasy, and then it ain't gonna be no help for you. You done. You're a dead man walking. And this is where a lot of us are. And Pastor, you can come on. I'm not going to read all this stuff. Y'all says, I got some questions I need to ask you about that too. But this is one of the things that I wanted us to state. And maybe I'll say it right and hopefully I give a great example. People saying that the name don't matter. Okay. Well, why? Because it don't matter. He's G-O-D. He know everything. That ain't what I asked you. That's not what we're talking about. You saying the name don't matter. Tell me why. You can't. Because the thing is, in his book, why has everybody else got a name? If names don't matter, why didn't he say this king in this appointed time or this judge? He gave names, right? So if a name is not important, why you got a name? Why your name ain't just man or woman? Or why your name ain't just little boy or little girl? If names are not important. Okay, I'm a dad, right? I have a daughter. What does she call me? The only way anybody, she the only one on planet Earth can say it like that. Okay, I'm a dad, right? But what's my real name? Robin. She calls me daddy. That ain't my name. That's my title. My name ain't daddy. It's Robin. So when she goes somewhere, hey, oh, you got a dad? Yeah, I got a dad. What's your dad name? Dad. They gonna be like, this girl slow. She said her daddy named Daddy. No, my dad ain't named Daddy's Daddy. That's what she gonna say. Okay. No, they gonna be like, no, little girl, what's your daddy name? Robin. Oh, you belong to Robin. He kin to the such a. So names are important. See, oh, she belonged to them Ruths. How are people gonna know who you belong to if you don't know the name of the person that you belong to? It don't make sense. So you're gonna stand up in a platform. You say the Most High gave you and say that the Most High name don't matter. That don't make sense. The person you say you worship ain't got no name, but he gave you a name. He knows the numbers of the hairs of your head. He was there to create up and down, light and dark, dry and wet, in and out, but he ain't got a name. But he knows everything about you, past, present, and future, but he ain't got no name. That don't make sense. How did he have he had the animals to come to Adam and told Adam we gonna see what you gonna name them. So how an animal got a name and the father ain't got one? You saying it don't matter. I'm talking about, think about it. This is what we hear. That is one reason they say, Ty, you in a cult. That name don't matter. What you mean it don't matter? When you get your income tax check and you want to go cash it, your name on it, it matter, don't it? Okay then. Oh, okay. It big matter. You know what I'm saying? I need this Monty's. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. It need to say Robin Jermaine Ruth. That's what it need to say. I need to cash it in. It don't need to say Robert. It need to say Robin with two B's. I don't need no mix up. And he said he wasn't going to give his glory to nobody else. So that if not to mix it up, it's got to be a specific in a name. So how does that make you a cult? Because you found out that her name is not little girl, it's Yasmin. Y'all crazy. I don't know about it. So you mean to tell me she's supposed to accept that and I supposed to accept that her name little girl? That don't make sense. I just want people to understand you silly, bro. And that's not to make you feel bad, but you ain't take them jaded things off. Man, we walk, Christianity got us with these glasses on, but we out here like Ray Charles. Trying to feel if it's pretty or not. So we can sleep with it. Ooh. Ooh. Nah, whatever I get in bed with, I want to look at it. I'm just being real. And that's really the gist of what I'm saying is levels to this. And some people, they can't be taught again, Pastor, If it's possible, teach me again. Some of people can't be taught no more. It's done for you. You done. Not because I say so, because the word said so. You denying this information or this experience. Now you said you said that you had an experience in Christianity. I did, and I know it's real. How do I know it's real? Because I'm still here and I'm able to step up on what I experienced. Plus, I told the Father, make it real to me. You know how my mind works. This don't sound right, but if it's you, prove it to me. And he did. So, how is it when you still on milk on this level, on the bottom level, which is coming into Yahusha, Yah, or what you said, G-O-D, or J-C. Ain't nobody taking that from you. Ain't nobody taking that from you. I'm going to say it's real. I'm going to say you encountered that. I'm going to say it was real. I'm going to say that. But if you're still at a place to where you cannot receive correction, receive information based off of what it said you believe and what you read in the word, you ain't ready. You still on this milk. But a lot of people are at the point to where they refuse to believe the new information, because when you come into this, the way of the faith, the believer's way, you're going to have another encounter. In some shape, form, or fashion. Sometimes it just clicks in the mind. That's your encounter. Sometimes you read it and the words jump off the page and you see it, or you can listen and be like, ooh, that's it. And it resonates on the inside. That's your encounter. Some people are having these things and they pushing away from it and turn it away. You're putting yourself in danger. And you better get in a place. I said you better get in a place to where you consider what's being said. Because we talked about this. Daniel said, in the last days, knowledge shall be increased, right? That means Satan is doing the same thing. His information is being increased as well. We got to get this. And I believe this is a lot of time. I'm still fair. I would consider myself a veteran member of Word of Freedom, because I've been here about 4 going on 5 years now. But about 6? Oh man, I don't know. Time has flown by. But I believe a lot of it is because people want milk. I like chicken strips, tater tots. I can eat them all day, any day, every day. But believe it or not, my appetite is changing, because I've been exposed to other food. My wife cooked me some Simon patties. I was like, ah! When I was little, there's something so stinking. Oh! Then they make you eat them with biscuit and rice. But guess what? She fixed some, and I'm just like, could I have some more, please? Could I have some more, please? You don't know what the Father's trying to do unless you're open and you consider it. People, and I think we're recording, stop saying that something's a cult or an occult when you don't know what the crap you're talking about. You need to understand what words mean. You're just going off of what you think, and what you think is going to land you in an apostate situation, and there will be no hope for you. That's all I got to say.